It's I feel quite comfortable with the hero recently, and this game was good. In like for me, I was doing well, so I think this is like probably the best I can play or something or close to that.
Okay.
So
So any mistakes we see here, we can assume you're making more of the other
yeah,
games.
with other heroes, I would probably miss more last hits and be like more confused in the fights and so on. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And you're Guardian 4, I think, right?
Yeah. I lost. I tried playing mid recently, but I was terrible. And then I came back to safe lane, and some games I'm doing pretty well, but it's very inconsistent. I I like sometimes do great or quite good, and sometimes I just play terrible, and yeah.
Right.
I
Okay. Well,
usually don't. Mhm.
I was just gonna say, let's take a look and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah. I usually don't like going on bounty runs because it's it's like a gamble for me. Usually, like we don't get much, and I have like half HP or something like that. But here, somebody smoked. I think Skyrath. So when there is smoke, I like usually go.
Sure.
But
Sure. It's
mhm.
it's what a lot of people at your level do. I think what you did was fine. I think that all looks fine. I think you should have just stayed here and gotten this bounty rune here when it spawns.
Mhm.
Because you weren't doing anything else anyways, and you walked down here. I did want to notice though. I noticed that you bought your items right away when you like got that first blood, so that's pretty good. I like to see that in like these Guardian games. So you got some nice, at least at this phase in the game when there's not a lot going else,
Mhm.
a lot else going on. You got some good item management. So that's nice.
I try to cutting down trees. It's something I I do for like a week or maybe less. It's the new thing.
That's okay. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like you're in Guardian. If you want to cut like one tree to give a path for your support, that's totally fine. But I don't think you need to cut a bunch of trees.
Yeah, right.
What happened here? How did this get blocked into your tower? Oh, you blocked it. So you blocked
Oh,
this so that it met under your tower.
okay, and I shouldn't.
No, no, no,
Mhm.
no. Like in high level Dota, sometimes you'll see carries block their creeps, but it's because in high level Dota, like the offlane players will like block their creeps because they want the lane to meet like back here. So like if you don't block at all, and this Ricky had been blocking his creeps, then the lane might have met like up here, right? So the only reason
Right.
you block on carry is to like prevent that from happening. I'd say your level you should never block your creeps because very few times are they going to be blocking their creeps, and then this is going to happen,
Hmm.
and
And
this
it's
is
much
just going to
worse
shove your lane
than.
out.
Hmm. Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
just hard to
and
last it under tower, especially at level 1. Like, I mean, I don't even. I can't blame you too much for missing those creeps because it's really hard to last it under tower at level 1.
hmm.
Even really good carries, like, you can't always do it. It's just not always possible. So, yeah, that was a pretty big mistake from you. Well, it's not huge. You're not going to lose a lane over it. It's like Guardian, like, but it's just not ideal. So, don't block as carry, I would say.
Yeah. That's good to know because those mistakes add up. This was a good game, but in like even game or something
Exactly.
like that, it might matter.
Exactly. Okay, so you're going for the creeps. I'm missing a couple. You guys have a lot of creeps. It's okay. Got some defensive aggro. It's nice.
Oh, and there's something with aggro. When my opponent does nothing, it's it's going like okay. I think I can creep aggro to my ranged creep, and then it's quite okay. But I don't know what to do when I played against Tide Hunter a while ago, and he was like constantly pulling creeps. So I was confused. What should I do because the wave was like split in half, and Yeah, and I was confused what to do when the offlaner is constantly pulling aggro.
It kind of just depends, like, on what your hero was. Um, it's a little hard to say. Um, like, usually if they're pulling aggro and you're pulling aggro, you want to just, like, kill your creeps. Like, I would just focus on whatever creeps you can to, like, get the CS, I guess.
Hmm.
That's, like, all I can really say without... Like, I have to, like,
Without
see it. Yeah.
live example, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. Okay, so you got the creep equilibrium is looking good now. I like that you're focusing on the CS. You're not fighting them too much. Nice with dodge.
Yeah, probably luck, but
Hey,
yeah.
it's okay. Sometimes you just need luck. Okay, this could be good. A little unlucky on that one. That second one. Okay, that was good. I really liked there how you like helped a little bit and then you went back for like the creeps after you didn't like overcommit. I think that was really good. I feel like I don't see that a lot from people your level.
Yeah, but that's a good game. That's why I wanted to show you that one, because that's a mistake. I usually like I know when I've committed like 1 second too long or something. So in this game it went well, but that's something I'm working on recently, because a while back I was completely passive. Then I started to committing like too much and dying, and now I think in this game it went well, and yeah, but it's not always like that. But that's something I'm working on.
Yeah, that comes from experience, and you just learn by like trying it out. You know, like you said, you're learning from what you've been doing, and it's a little bit different on like every hero. So like what works on one hero doesn't work on another hero. Do you know why you're like not leveling up your abilities fully here? You're
I think I was
here, you're
focused.
level 4, and you're like only 2 points in skills.
Oh, right. I don't know why I was like focused on.
Okay, maybe it's a one-off thing.
Yeah, and it's quite huge on the early levels.
They
Ability
usually
level
your
4.
early levels are pretty important. Yeah, so you're like not sure if you should go help this guy. I would lean towards like if it's like convenient for you to help, like right here where you're attacking them here because your hoodwink is getting gone on right here. If it's convenient for you to help, and as long as you're not over committing to helping, I think helping is okay. But if it's ever like not convenient for you to help, I would rather like just make sure you focus on like your own game. Like don't screw your own game up to like go help your support.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I do quite, maybe not often, but sometimes I die because of it, or like lose
Yeah, it's a tough
always.
balance. Just think like, do I want to like go help that guy? Like, would I rather lane? Because like, you know, supports at your level. I mean, just like everybody at your level, they'll be bad, right? They'll put themselves in bad situations, and you can't fix it a lot of the time by like going over there. So, you know, so it's just important to like not ruin your own game off their mistake. But okay, you're I like your items. I really like the wand into treads is really nice, and you have really good CS so far. So this is really nice. You're playing well,
Yeah,
like you said.
yeah,
But
it was a good game. Oh, and another thing, because I play quite often with PA, I'm not sure when I should go Orb of Corrosion, because I think like sometimes it's good, but most of the times when I do it, I just go jungle anyway or somewhere else, and I just don't utilize it. I just have Battle Fury late,
yeah,
and
I would say so. There's two answers. The first answer is at your MMR, like for you, I would just never buy it because,
Mhm.
like you said, like it'll slow you down, and you're not going to be able to prop. It's not even just you, but you plus your support are just not going to be able to properly utilize like what Orb of Corrosion gives you, which is just super high aggressive potential constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just never buy it at your level, honestly. The reason that it can be good, like why you should buy it, or why PAs buy it eventually, like at a higher level, is it's very, very good against like squishy ranged supports. It just helps you like kill them and run them down super well.
Okay, so maybe Skywrath or something like that.
Kind of, yeah. Skywrath is like kind of fast. He's like one of the fastest base
Oh,
movement speed supports, but you know, basically yes. Any like squishy range support hero, you know, like your Rubik's, Grimstrokes, like there's like a Lion, like a Hoodwink, like in your game, like any of these ranged squishy supports. Orb of Corrosion, if you're like having a good lane already, it like keeps your ability to kill them like super high, and it basically makes it so they can't even come to the lane without dying. Like Orb of
okay,
Corrosion is an item that says if I buy this, I'm going to kill you if you come to my lane. So
right.
like in any other situation, it's just not that good because it's just gonna slow you down.
Okay, so it's good to know, but I will avoid it. So because my main goal right now is like to make my games consistent. So
Yeah,
I and it will just, if I made a wrong decision with Orb of Corrosion, it will just not be consistent because I will like lose 1,000 gold.
exactly, exactly. The other I said ranged squishy supports, but it could also apply if they have a ranged squishy core. Like if you're ever against like a Zeus off lane or a Veno off lane, it can be really good against those two. Just any
Hmm.
squishy ranged heroes who like if you get on top of, like you'll just kill. So, but yeah,
Okay.
that's the explanation. But like yeah, like I said, I just wouldn't do it at your level at all because if you buy it with the intent to kill them and then your support leaves, for example, just because like sometimes your supports at your MMR will just leave, then you have this Orb of Corrosion that's useless because you're not killing
Yeah.
them 2v1. And then it's like,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
1v2. So that's why I would just say don't buy it because you're just not going to, you're just going to buy it and it's just going to slow you down in like half your games. And you'll be like, I wish I hadn't bought this. So I would just say don't even plan on buying it. I do like the Blightstone though. Did you?
I
You
wanted to
can
buy it,
get
but
Blightstone.
hmm
I would, if you're having a decent game like this, where you've got your treads, your wand, and you're starting your Battle Fury, I would throw a Blightstone in there because it increases your jungle efficiency a decent amount, and you know it's like a little. It does increase your aggressive potential without like sacrificing your jungle efficiency because it will help towards your jungle efficiency once you leave your lane.
all right.
So I
Okay.
would buy
Okay.
the Blightstone if your lane's going well. If it's not going well, this is like you kind of want to skip the Blightstone and just go straight like Tread's Battle Fury. But
Right.
yeah, if it's going
Okay.
well, get the Blightstone, but then just don't go the full corrosion. Really like the way you're playing. I wouldn't mind if you like used your wand here, just because you've got 20 stick charges and you'll start accruing more. It's not bad to like hang on to like a full wand, so I don't hate that you're not doing it. Okay, so
But it
here.
would be.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No. I was just confirming.
Okay. So every carry reaches a point where they want to start rotating to jungle between like waves, the creep waves that come down to like increase their farm efficiency. And the better you get at identifying when you can start doing this, like just the higher your like creep score will be in the first 10 minutes, and you'll just like really start to ramp up super fast, like faster than anybody else in your bracket. So here,
Okay, so can you like tell me, because my most common heroes or like now it's probably PA, Drow, I think Faceless Void, and maybe Jag. I played Dota for quite a long time, so I have played many heroes, but some of them just don't work for me right now. Like Anti-Mage, I used to be doing well with him, but now I feel like I'm terrible. But yeah, with those, if you can like tell me when should I like be shoving lanes and farming jungle?
so it varies a little bit between heroes, but your general guideline for when you would start to do this is like two different situations. The first is you're doing well and you've just hit enough levels and items to where you can do it fast enough and then come back to lane and still kill the creeps. So like it's like you go to do the small camp right now, and then you come back and do the lane because the lane hasn't died yet. And so usually this looks like about level 6 or 7 and having treads on like all of those carries you listed for the most part. Or like if Jug, you know, maybe you have phase boots or Stead or whatever, but like Void, Drow, PA, like level 6 or 7, you have treads, and then you shove the lane out like it's shoved out already like this. Like you kill these 2 creeps right here as fast as you can, and then you go run and do this small camp. And what's going to happen is this wave was supposed to meet this one up here. Like there is no next creep wave. The next creep wave, so these 2 creeps are going to die, and then the next creeps are spawned right now. Like there's a creep wave back here that just spawned. So you have all the way until these creeps walk all the way up here, and then they're going to be killing, like this tower is going to kill these creeps off, but then these creeps are going to be under the tower. So then that wave that's walking down from them is going to be like fighting your creeps here under this tower. Meanwhile, you're over here killing this. Their creeps don't really die because the tower kills your wave super fast. And then their creep wave, which is this one that walked here, is going to then start walking out here. And then you would finish the small camp and then come over and kill that wave.
Right.
So
and
like
why the small
time.
camp?
Because it's faster. It's faster.
Okay.
Like you don't kill the big camp that fast yet. And it'll do more damage to you. So that's why. If you're strong enough, you can kill the big camp first.
Okay.
And then once you get like a little more levels and like a little more like farm, you know, then you'll be able to kill the big camp fast enough to then do the big camp and then come to the lane. So yeah, it's usually around 6. You usually have your treads, and you're like doing well enough to where you can do this. The other scenario is where it's not going well. Your lane's not going well, and your entire goal is to just not interact with the enemy heroes. So the point is not to like yes, it's to increase your efficiency, but like the point of doing it isn't just because you can squeeze them in between coming back and forth. It's that you literally don't want to be in the lane when the enemy heroes are there. So like while the enemy creeps are fighting your creeps and there's an enemy hero there and you don't want to fight them, you just go jungle. And then if they shove it into your tower, that's when you come back from jungle, clean up the creeps under your tower, and then go back to jungle. So it's like you're doing the same thing, but it's like you're coming back to lane under your tower because you're scared. Versus when you're strong, you can kill the wave wherever you want. You kill it really fast, and the enemy can't stop you because if they try and come up, you'll like fight them and win. And then you go back to jungle because you'd rather just get the more creeps than like try and fight them under their tower or something. So those are kind of the 2 scenarios.
Okay, and then when I'm losing, I would probably farm small camp and maybe the first high ground one because
camp, yeah.
Okay, because
Exactly.
they usually are farming the big camp near
they
their
might be farming the big camp, and it's like just risky too, right? If you don't want to fight them, you don't want to like farm the camp right next to them because they could like easily come over and screw with you. Exactly, you got the right idea. So what tells me that now is the time for you is like you just killed this Ricky, so you've got a bunch of time anyways, and there's gonna be no creep wave for you after these 2 creeps die for like. It's going to take like 20 seconds for them to walk here and then fight, and then like another like 5 seconds. You've got like 25, 30 seconds maybe before, once you kill these 2 creeps, before you need to like have more creeps to kill. And in that time, you should just go hit more creeps, which is the small camp.
Right.
So like,
okay, and I'm waiting here and wasting.
And here, it's right
almost
here. You're
got
wasting
hooked.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost get hooked. I mean, you guys do kill this guy, but like, you're going to die here. Use your stick. Okay, use your stick. Okay, you got out. So yeah, I mean, you guys killed that guy, but like against better opponents, they're not going to feed like that, and you're going to get nothing out of what would have been you just waiting here. You would have just gotten
and
nothing.
maybe die.
And maybe die. Exactly. So yeah, this is going very well. You're like very farmed, and a lot of times this will happen. Like a ton of people will be coming to your lane. And, like, if you're the carry, like, you don't really want to be, like, fighting a bunch of people right now, right? It's, like, pre-10 minutes. You really just want to be hitting creeps.
Right.
So, like, here. Like, I would just go hit the small camp. Because you don't want to walk up here, right? I don't think you want to walk up here. I'm glad you're not. But in the meantime, you should just go hit the small camp, and really
Right.
fold that into your rotation. If you're having a good game, it'll be around like 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So
I
it's
was
really
like
early. Okay, so here you keep
waiting.
going.
Now I think I was confused because Hoodwink wanted to pull that camp. I realized it's stacked, so probably Hoodwink wanted to
Yeah.
pull, and I decided okay, so let's wait. But yeah, it was like it was exactly the situation that I was just confused and didn't have a plan what to do.
For sure. Yeah, and if that happens, like if you had walked over to kill this camp, like when I said, and then you found this double stacked camp, you might have not even been able to. This is a very strong double stack camp. Like these, all 6 of these creeps do like a lot of damage. So actually, you couldn't have farmed this if it was already stacked. I don't know when this Hoodwink stacked it, but at least you could have gone and looked and been like, oh, I can't farm that, you know. And then it's like maybe you kill like the small creep at the big camp or something in the meantime.
Right.
But just looking to do it will set up those opportunities. It won't normally be like stacked, but here it's fine. He pulled. You're gonna get free farm under tower. More free farm under tower because the enemy's not pulling. Or I guess they did leave the lane now.
And they might have.
So I like this, that you're killing this as fast as possible. I really like this. Okay, so yeah, you've started now. This is when you started killing it as fast as possible and then rotating to jungle at 11 minutes. And you could
So it's 4 minutes late.
You could have just been doing this 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I like you're doing it now, and like all carries will start doing this. The sooner you get at recognizing when you can start doing it, just the better your efficiency will be, right? Like you're a guardian and you started doing it in 11 minutes. Like maybe a crusader starts doing it at like 10 minutes or 9, and like an ancient divine player starts doing it at like 8 minutes, and like an immortal player starts doing it at like 7 minutes. And it's just like how good
exactly
you are is how fast you are at figuring this out.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you're doing it exactly right now. It just took you too long to start doing it. Yeah, this is all fine. You're killing it really fast, which is great. Kind of going to jungle. It's fine. I like that you're not overcommitting here, just throwing some daggers and then leaving. So your Sky shows up, so you come back. This is all really nice.
Yeah, but this was
You
game.
have a good idea of what you're doing.
Yes, but I'm quite comfortable with PA, and this game went quite well. Like most games, I just every time you see something like that, I probably like committed and died, or but that's something I usually know when I do it. So that's something I'm working on. But yeah, but this game, like every mistake, for instance, that with small camp creeps, I will do this mistake every single game. I would never go there like 7 minutes or 8 minutes or 9 minutes. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and I like watching these games because we'll really focus on like even at your best, like what are you still doing wrong, and then I think that's really valuable information to learn from, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a really nice TP out. Again, I totally dig this. So I'll be like a little bit harsher on you than I would normally be on a Guardian, but just because you have a really good game, so we're gonna really look to like amp that efficiency. So Lena showed up. Nice. Okay, so you're like chilling to farm under your tower. That's good.
And I didn't realize I have a sword in my backpack. Okay, it's okay now.
Okay. Yeah. So here, you just want to have an idea of where their lane will be, or where their creep wave will be. And there is like a creep wave that's like right here, so you'd want to be farming this here.
And then go to
and then go to the camps. Yeah. And I think you stopped doing the ancients, which is good. You recognize it, so that's pretty good. Honestly, that was pretty good recognition. Like, ancient players will do exactly what you just did. They'll like start to farm the creep camp, and then they'll realize that the waves is more important, and they'll go do it. So that was really good.
Yeah, but I could have known it in advance, right?
Exactly. Okay, so you do a little rotation to mid. So why do you walk away from top? So you kill these.
I think I was scared.
So as soon as I see this map, I'm looking at the mini map right now. That's all I'm looking at. As soon as I see this map, I want to stay up here, because PA with Battle Fury, I mean any kind of carry at this phase in the game, you don't really want to show up to fights. You just don't. And like, if you're like a Faceless Void with Chrono or something, where like you have a really big impact on your team's fights in the early game, you can kind of look to like show up to some engagements. But if you're a PA, like BSJ actually has like he had a video, it's a couple months ago now, but it was learning PA. It was like about how to learn a hero, and he watched a PA replay from like Yatoro or something, and he like commented on it. And basically his takeaway from that, like how the PA was playing, was like, once he has his Battle Fury, like up to his Battle Fury, and even with his Battle Fury, he really does not look to show up to anything until his next item. Like, Battle Fury is just a farming item, and it's just so much more efficient for you to hit creeps now and fight later than show up to a fight now. Yeah, so
Right.
you like just don't hit, because I would have liked to hit this creep camp and maybe the small camp and then push this into the tower, or like, or maybe even just hit this and then kill this wave up here and then like walk back to your triangle or something. And instead you just like didn't kill any creeps. You walked here, you killed the Lina, but you just missed like two creep camps in a wave.
Yeah.
And like maybe 2 waves.
So it's not worth
for
it.
doing that. So it's just not worth it. So it's just like super high efficiency stuff that, you know, you can look to do in these like good games.
Oh, and another decision, because that's the moment after Battle Fury, I usually am wondering if I should go Deso first or BKB first.
At your MMR, I would say if you're doing like decent, if you're having a decent game, I would always go Deso first. If you're in a really hard game where like the enemy's like kind of like running it down your guys' throats and you just need to participate, then I would go BKB first. But that's the only scenario, like these really hard games. And where like obviously BKB is really good. Like BKB's not amazingly good here. I still think it's good enough to buy, but like in this game where you're doing really well, I would 100% buy Deso first.
Okay. I think I will go Deso first, because I think I wanted to go BKB, but Pooch would catch me anyway, and Jack can use ult. Yeah. Still, so yeah.
So here I'll just mention, it's like, this is like a little more advanced of a topic, but when you're a carry, it's important to think about what happens when you run into the other carry and like who would actually win. Like if you started fighting this Jug right now, what do you think would happen?
He would Omni Slash me, but because I am quite comfortable with PA, I know that when I press Blur, it would interrupt his Omni Slash. So now this time I knew it, that probably when I jumped him, he would like Omni Slash me, and I would just die. I think, at least I think that. But if I had Blur, I could probably bait him into Omni Slash. But I'm not sure if I had a chance with the spin. So I would like, if I had Blur, I would probably farm that wave and just run away with Blur if necessary.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I think if you hadn't used Blur here, you used it before the Jug showed up here, so I don't like blame you for that. But if you have Blur here, like I think you like just jump on this guy and start hitting him. Like he literally can't do anything to you. Like if he spins, you can just stand there and keep hitting him. Because if he ever Omni Slashes, you just Blur. So like I think that was a pretty good analysis from you. Like if you have Blur, like you can get him, you can fight him and he'll have to leave, or like it won't go well for him. Versus if you don't have Blur, then like if he, yeah, maybe it's kind of a toss up. I wouldn't necessarily go on if he doesn't have Blur. But it's important to realize this, because if you did have Blur and you just walked away here, it would be really bad. Like if you're the stronger carry, then you, and this happens where you run into their carry farming, it's so important if you're the stronger one that you make the other guy leave, as opposed to just like letting him like farm it and you leave. So I'm really glad to hear that analysis from you. I think that's pretty correct. It's unfortunate that you use blur, because if you otherwise, if you had it, you'd be able to like make this guy leave, but that's life.
Right.
And you stick around, which is good. This is all good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And in case of neutral items, which ones are good ones? Because I usually like go morbid mask or no morbid mask, but that possessed mask. It's the lifesteal one or vest, the one I have right now. From level 2, I'm not sure.
It's just anything that gives you damage. I wouldn't overthink it. It's just whatever gives you damage, you know? Or if you need it, like survivability, like the Pupil's Gift will give you some survivability because it gives you strength. It's not that complicated. It's just whatever gives you damage. I wouldn't worry too much about getting it exactly right.
Okay.
Here, so you kill this camp. So based on what's happening on the minimap right now, I think you should go top. Because you're walking towards mid, which is this small camp, and then mid. But mid's already pushing in, which is like good for your team. And that means like if you show up here, like the wave's going to be under the tower, right?
They can kill me then, right?
Yeah, like you're not going to farm this wave if it's under their tower, because you're not crazy. So like you're looking to go kill the small camp, but then there's literally going to be nothing else for you to do for like 15 seconds. You're gonna have downtime like 15 seconds. Whereas if you walk top here, your blur's coming back up. So if this jug's still here, what we talked about before still applies, right? If you have blur up and this jug's still here, you just make him leave. You just go on him, and he can't go on you back, or you just waste his Omni Slash, and then you still are going on him, right?
Right.
And then in the meantime, you farm this. You can farm this camp. That's like plenty to do in 20 seconds. And then maybe you even farm this camp twice if you like either get the stack or you like hit it and then hit the camp and it respawns and then like go back to it. And then you can like come back to your triangle because it'll have respawned. So just like the direction you go here is going to influence like the amount of farm you're going to get for the next like 40 seconds. Okay, so you are crazy. You are a crazy person. And you do go farm it under the tower. You saw a bunch of heroes bottom, so that wasn't actually that bad. I'm just kidding. If you didn't see a bunch of heroes bottom, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, but it was risky still.
It's always a little risky. Okay, but this is good. You did make it up top. You're not hitting buildings at all, which I really like. This tier just does not hit buildings. And you're not really looking to show up to your team's fighting, which I think is good too. I just would not be looking to participate there. Lina came here.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Lina, so I run away.
That's reasonable. I would not be looking to like fight straight into their Lina. It's like their mid, right? It's like a mid Lina.
Yeah, and she was doing quite well, I think.
Yeah, I would not be looking to fight into that. If it's like a support Lina, maybe, but not a mid Lina. Here, I think you could have looked to this camp. It might even be gone. The Lina might have done it. And you'd still be you'd want to be kind of careful. But because you push this into the tower and you don't see anybody there, like you can probably assume that they're not like here. Because if they were in the area, they would be defending their tower. So I would have looked to farm this camp because you had the time anyways. Like you're coming back to your triangle, but it's not up yet. So it would have saved you like, or it would have gotten you like one more camp.
And again, I should go.
So.
Yeah.
So now I would be kind of looking to show up, and that's not saying you have to immediately stop what you're doing to like go fight. I would just be in my mind and be like, okay, yeah, like if some fight happens, like I would be happy to kind of show up to it now. So we'll see what happens. There hasn't been anything so far, but I still like the way you're farming. Doing what you're doing before is decent. Okay, so you're walking in. You got your death so. Well, your team kind of dies before you get there. It's life.
Yeah.
All right, this was good. I like that you like moved to. That was exactly right. You like moved to like participate, and then it just didn't go well before you got there. So then you didn't force it, which is good. Yeah, you really seem to have a pretty good grasp on this hero, which is nice. You know, spam this hero, gain MMR.
Yes, I was very bad with PA. I liked the hero, but it was very bad. But until, well, like maybe month or 2 months ago, I started to like feeling well with. I know quite well, better than other heroes when I can fight and when not. But with other heroes, it's usually much worse.
It's
But
harder, yeah.
yeah, on the first session, I wanted like to show you like my comfortable pick, and on the next ones, I'll probably go to like maybe Drow, Void, or some heroes that are much less. Because on other heroes, I for sure make all the mistakes I make on PA, but also many more.
Right. Alright, so you didn't go farm top because you were scared. I don't hate that, honestly. I don't know if I was playing in this Guardian game if I would have been scared, but if you were scared, that's fine. And look, they are top, so maybe you were right to be scared. Alright, so this is the first fight where you can actually show up. Nice. Very nice. That's cool shit.
Yeah, it went well.
Are you going for the Roche here? Is that what's happening?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sweet. That's pretty sick.
Radiant's bottom
Again, that's that's something I like. In 30% games, I realized that like I know that that after a fight when we've won, I should go rush, but in most games I realize it like 3 minutes after. Oh,
Right. Well,
crap.
hey,
But
if you can realize it right away sometimes, that's the start to recognizing it right away most of the time.
yeah,
So you guys are grouped up around your Aegis, farming a triangle. Your SP's disconnected, so you're basically down a hero. So I don't... Kind of okay that you guys are playing like back more.
Dire's middle tower is under
These
attack.
guys are gone.
I will die maybe twice, even I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I think you can't do this because your team's not here. Like the
Right,
map is just
Scarab is
not
not
set
there.
up enough for this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you guys are like hoping for like a quick pick off here. I guess if you
Yeah, but
used
now-
your shard right away, he probably would have died.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as soon as that doesn't work, like you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Given
yeah.
that you're Sky, you're down like 2 heroes. Fighting their triangle at a numbers disadvantage is not good.
Oh, and I will die here. Yeah, they had ward probably. Yeah, but if it probably if we tried, but retreated immediately after
Yeah,
failed.
I think that would have been okay. Because you had the vision to set it up, and then like in theory, you know, you get a couple lucky crits with the sharpshooter. I could
Yeah.
see it work. I could see it work. So I didn't hate that you tried it, and then you guys just didn't back off immediately when it didn't work.
Yeah.
Now he just throws while you're dead. That's always great.
In case anyone's interested, courier.
Let's see what you do here.
Oh boy, Dire's middle
This will be a fast first game. That's nice.
Khan. Dire's middle tower is
So
under
you
attack.
guys walk it straight down mid. Oh, well, they had a bunch of heroes dead. So okay, this is reasonable. Nice. Okay, so now you're backing because their Jug and Lena are alive. So here, oh, you did it. I was gonna say you should have TP bottom, and you just did it late. So as soon as you back off here, as soon as you decide you want to back off, here is where you should TP top. Like
Okay,
right now.
and push wave.
And just push it all the way out. Because what should happen here is like you know, you guys backed off because you didn't feel comfortable pushing high ground into like multiple cores, which totally makes sense to me. You don't have Aegis. And so what needs to happen next is you like just play the map correctly and like keep them in their base and like shut out. So what you should do is TP here and push this all the way out, and then you guys can like take this tier 2 because it's not going high ground, and like what your team should do is they should like just kind of take the outpost and hang out here while you're like pushing towards them, and then you connect back to them, right? And then your Spirit Breaker can be there very quickly no matter what. So that's what should happen here, and it's just a matter of like how high your MMR is to how fast it will happen.
Yeah.
So you do the right thing. It's just like 25 seconds delayed.
Yeah, so like remember like a trigger after the fight is won, just look at the map and TP to the wave, right?
Exactly. And so here's the thing is like if you had done this faster, you would already be back over here. And your team, because this happens slower on your part, your teammates, they like lose focus. They like there's nothing to do because you're still way over here. Like if you had done this immediately, your team wouldn't have had time to separate like this. But because it took you a while, they like took the outpost and like kind of in their minds they like did what they came here to do, and then they started backing, which is like not good from your team. But they wouldn't have done this if you were already up here. They would have been like, they would have taken it and been together, and you would have already been like right here. And then it's like so obvious that you've got 3 heroes here and you're pushing in that you like take this tier 2. But
Right.
because it's slow on your end, then they like leave, which isn't like correct from them, but like it's like these things. I've been pointing this out a lot in my coaching sessions. Like a lot of things that like you do, it like affects what your teammates do, and like you doing the right thing very often like will not force but like heavily encourage your team to also do the right thing. So because now you're here in the right part of the map and your team's like, I don't know, like I guess we'll
Somewhere
just go
else.
jungle on our own side of the map. I mean, if they wanted to hit jungle camps, they could have just hit these ones under the ward. But this is the result of you doing this slow, is like now your team is not ready anymore. I'm not saying that's like your fault that they're not ready here, but they would have still been here if you had done this immediately. This little
Yeah.
rotation thing. So just something to keep in mind. Pretty high level, like to do it faster is like to be a higher MMR player, but
Yeah,
No,
but
it is what it
faster
is.
even by a few seconds can make a difference because
exactly. I'm glad you recognize that.
yeah, I've had so many close games. Like if I just had like 20 more gold, I would have BKB and it would be different. Yeah, and so
Exactly. All right. I
yeah,
think maybe we stop watching here. Notice that they eventually did show up. Your SB
Yeah,
charged in. They were like, "Oh, our teammates are up there," and then they showed up, and then you guys like killed them all.
yeah. Maybe one more question. When there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
game, it's not like for particularly this game, but if we can't push high ground and there is no rush yet, should we rather be near enemy outpost and control that area, or on their triangle, or it depends, or where? Because in this game, I think we should be, like you mentioned, we should probably be near the outpost, take top tower, and maybe push mid and top, and stay there, and like is this what we should do?
Is this like a scenario where you're like ahead? Are you saying like if you're ahead, what
Yeah,
you should
I
do?
mean the scenario where I am, my team is ahead, and we can like stomp them in fights, but we can't go high ground because they have like I don't know, Medusa maybe, or
Sure.
like sniper or like we can't go high ground because we'll die, but we can control everything we want.
Right, you can go
So
wherever you want. So it's like, where do you go?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So in those scenarios, you want to control 2 lanes at a time and get them shoved all the way in, and you kind of like bounce back and forth. So like it'll be like somebody pushes in top, and like the ideal thing is you're pretty grouped. Sometimes if you have a very mobile or like bots hero, they can be like in the 3rd lane, like but like mostly as a team you want to be bouncing back and forth between these 2 lanes. If you're Radiant or if you're Dire, it'll be these 2 lanes, you know, kind of not invading their triangle. And once you've pushed these 2 lanes in like pretty far, right, like maybe not all the way to tier 3, but like, you know, to like here and to like here, you know, you pushed them in pretty far, then you can look to like control the triangle and like go in there together, right? And if the enemy's like there, you kill them, and if they're not there, then you like farm it, and you kind of like bounce between 2 lanes, get them pushed all the way in, and then you kind of fix the 3rd lane. Like you kind of bounce between the other 2 lanes. Like mid is always one of them, right? But you're bouncing between the other 2 lanes. And then if anybody on their team shows in that opposite side lane where you guys were, and now you're not, right? Like if you are top and mid and then you start playing bottom and mid and somebody on their team shows top, whether it's like under a good ward or just like in the lane, then you guys like just smoke and go kill them. And you
Okay.
really
So
just
it's good to
kinda
keep a
play
smoke.
out
Smoke.
here. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, you don't have to smoke if you can just charge across the map as Spirit Breaker. It kind of depends on your team composition, but that's the idea. Is
Yeah,
like
yeah, but that's
you
good
force
advice.
them out of this area, like the top area. You force them out of the top area. You control both lanes. Then you go to the next area, and like so you leave the area where you were in. So technically, they could go there, and if they do, which often they will, once you've moved to the other area, then you just go back there and then you just kill them. And you just kind of rinse
Right.
and repeat that process until either A, they're all in their base, or B, you've picked off somebody important enough to where you can go high ground, or C, Roshan eventually just respawns. And then
Yeah.
you like do the Roshan from there. So that's kind of how you should be playing.
Yeah,
The
okay,
key
okay, I
mistake
get it.
there is like your team won't always like be together, and what'll happen is you guys have like control, but then you like the team kind of loses focus and you spread out, and then they group up and they smoke out of their base, and because you guys are spread out, they take an advantageous fight because like you guys spread out. Even though you could control like all the area, you still have to do it as a team so that if they show up, you can like win the fight. So the key there is to stay with the team. So like if you, I just talked about this with the guy in the session right before you actually, because he was a juggernaut and his team was like in this position, right? Where they were winning and his whole team was alive here. Yeah, they had one hero bottom. They had like a support bottom and there's the other 4 heroes here. Like kind of doing what you guys are doing right now, like controlling the area. And then he ran down here and was like fighting one guy in the enemy team who like ended up TPing out. And then meanwhile his team died because the other heroes in the enemy team like walked into this area and he wasn't there and he had his team's Aegis. They had taken Roshan in this scenario and like his support wasn't there. And then his team lost like a 4v3 because he wasn't there. So it's really important that you stay together.
Yeah.
So this can happen in immortal level. This happens very fast. Like they clear the waves, they get them in really fast. They farm the whole jungle and they move together to the other side. It all happens very fast. At your level, it will not happen fast, but it will still happen. So you just have to kind of, if you know what's supposed to happen, you'll feel impatient, right? You'll be like, oh, you'll start walking over here and you'll be like, team, come. And they'll be like late because they don't understand that this is what they're supposed to be doing. So you just have to like make sure you're with your team and just do it slowly, however long it takes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. But the most important thing is so I know what to do, and
Exactly.
if they're slow, it's okay. I can wait, but I need to know where should I be and what to do because usually at this stage of the game I know I must push lanes, but but I'm not exactly sure where should I be. Oh, and
Exactly.
one more question. If, for instance, they have like Nature's Prophet or Anti-Mage or some split pusher, and he appears in or like Jagger, and he appears he pushed away the bottom lane all the way to our T2 tower. Should I be the one who TPs, or should we what should we do in, for instance, in this game, like Jagger were just under our T2 tower and he was pushing. What should we
It's
do?
really hard to say. It really depends on a lot of factors, I think. Like it depends on like how much you're threatening to like go high ground. You know, like if you're threatening to go high ground and he's pushing your tier 2, you can just go high ground and either he has to come back and then you forced him back into his base, or he's hitting a tier 2 and you're hitting a tier 3 and you kind of win that, right? So in that scenario, you kind of just like push to like force him to come back. In some scenarios, like you'll have like a setup hero on your team, or like a hero like Spirit Breaker, where you can kind of like initiate a fight and like kind of catch them. Basically, you catch them, and it just depends on which heroes on your team like actually are required to catch and kill them. So like sometimes that might be you, but sometimes it might not be you. So it's like hard to say. Like, is it you? Is it not you? It really kind of depends on the lineup.
Okay, so
Depends on a lot of
sometimes we should.
factors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's like you have to determine, is it better to like catch and kill him and then go, or like is it better to just force it and like kind of trade? You know, they're going to take your tier 2. Are you going to take their tier 3? Are you trading tier 2s? Maybe that's less good. Kind of just depends on a lot. Hard to answer. Let's look at your next game.
There are two. One is Drow. That I think I was doing badly on the lane, and a bit confused in fights, but later it was fine. And Jagger, I just played bad, and I had all the farm, but my team was good, and I think that Drow game would be more. More like more teaching value or learning value or something.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
I had good stats in the end, but laning stage I felt like I was doing badly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll take a look and maybe we can spot some things that like will help you do better more consistently. So your Drow, probably like Underlord Lita or Underlord Pudge.
I think Underlord Pudge? Underlord for sure.
Yeah. Starting a stick is kind of interesting. I don't think you'd really want to start stick too often as Drow unless you're against like a Bristle or something. I guess Underlord kind of spams.
So I should take like sleepers or sleepers of agility or.
Well, let's see. You can see this, right? You see my browser?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a look. I don't play a ton of Drow right now. I'm just gonna kind of look and see what people are starting. So, these are the starting items here. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of branches.
4 branches. In this game, this guy started a wand and 3 branches. Who was he against? Probably like Enigma, Pudge maybe. So this guy started wand. This guy started wand. Oh, this is the same guy actually. Crit's been starting wand. Some people are starting stick. So I guess if you think they're going to be casting spells, it's okay to start stick. I don't normally do this, but maybe it's good. A lot of these high MMR pros are actually starting with like wand or stick. So actually, all right, here we go. This is cool. I'm learning. So I don't hate this. I don't hate this.
Okay.
I wasn't sure about it, but I checked. We're learning. Okay, so you're just not going for the rune, which is fine. I want to play safe for sure. You really like cutting these trees.
Yeah, that's something I do recently, but yeah. I wasn't doing it at all, and my support sometimes complained that they can't go through, and now I do it a lot, and I think it's well, at least I remember to make.
Yeah,
make,
just so you
make
know, there's one tree here, this tree right here. You want to cut if you have a cutting blade, because that lets your support like kind of get in and out, and then on Dire. It's like one of these 2 trees here.
Okay.
And then this tree. Those are the only ones you need to cut.
Oh, okay. Because I wasn't sure, so I just take them all.
Yeah. You just need to cut those ones. If you're against like a hero that plays in the trees a lot, like Monkey King or Hoodwink, like or Treant, you can cut a bunch of trees. Like that's okay. If you're not against those specific heroes. It just doesn't matter to like cut all the rest. Like it's not bad, but it's not. You know, I don't want you to think you like have to do it, right? Just try and cut the 1 trees.
Right.
Okay.
And my last hitting with Drow is quite terrible. Especially when they try to deny. I think I know the animation, but I'm just like a bit too late. Oh, yeah, you can see that.
Drow is a very hard hero to last hit with, which is why a lot of times it's good to start like a lot of stats. Like you started with a net of like 4 plus 4 damage with the Fairy Fire and the 2 branches. Or no, I guess it's 6 or 4 plus 4, so it's 8. You're starting with like 8 damage. That's decent. I guess. Like, that's why you see, like, the pros, like, you know, like, again, they start with a lot of damage. Like, this wand plus 3 branches is 6, because you get 3 all stats from wand plus 3 more, so that's 6. You know, this is, like, the full damage. Like, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage starting. So, like, a lot of these, like, basically it involves a lot of stats, so that you can do more damage so that you can, like, get the creeps easier, because it's a very hard hero to, like, last it with early. You just don't do a lot of damage, your animation is not very good. Against Underlord, like, basically any offlaner who's, like, really good at denying, it's going to be even harder. So what you can do is you can just defensive aggro. Even though you're a ranged hero and they're a melee, if you can do it without, you know, taking, like, 300 damage, you can defensive aggro just to get it
and they
away
can deny
from them so that they can't deny it. Alright, so got hooked. So it's life. Against Pudge, actually, it's probably not bad to kill a lot of trees, because then you can see him.
Yeah.
Idea there.
But he will hook me from the other side later. I thought I was clever to cut it, but yeah, exactly.
It's okay. It's okay. He's, you know, he's being a clever guy. All right. So you're buying more tangos. It's reasonable. Yeah, just struggling to last it.
Yeah.
It's a hard hero to last it with. Oh, here we go. This guy's just gonna feed. That'll make it easier.
Yeah, at least that. Yeah, but that's why I wanted to show you that PA game that went well, and the draw game that it was won in the end, but it was hard, especially on the lane for me.
Okay, so you missed this range creep. Because this guy came back. So if we go back to here, I'm going to teach you like a kind of concept that will get you this range creep. So this guy died, and then you denied your range creep. So the lane is a little bit pushing in towards them, and this guy's going to be respawning soon. So when you're in a lane where the enemy is like highly contesting you for CS, like challenge you for denies and like getting a lot of denies, and your life's just hard, right? When they're dead, like if you kill them, it's very important to set yourself up to like get like CS as much as you can while they're dead, because you're not getting a lot while they're alive. So what you should do here is you should, and also to like keep the equilibrium, get the equilibrium as much an advantage to you as possible. So what you should do here is you should immediately defensive aggro these 3 creeps onto this range creep. You might have to do it twice. If you do it well, you might only have to do it once. Get these 3 melee creeps to kill your range creep. So you have to do that like right away. And in the meantime, you kill this range creep as fast as possible. So like you kind of have to do one then the other. You have to defensive aggro first and make sure they start attacking your range creep, and then you kill this range creep as fast as possible before this guy gets back. You just kill it. And then and then your range creep dies, and then their range creep is dead, and then either your creeps, maybe when you defensive aggro, your creeps like go to this creep, and then when you kill it, these 3 creeps start like walking up the lane, and that's like fine, it's whatever. He's gonna get them when he respawns and comes back. But meanwhile, you've got these 3 creeps who have killed your range creep, and then you can like, you know, take them under your tower, or you can like drag them back behind this tower to like over here and meet this next wave coming, or, you know, you'll like get them, right? He's not going to be contesting them. So that's how you can kind of secure this while like denying like a creep from him.
Right.
So hopefully it's like kind of advanced. You have to like have this idea of like what you can do, because as soon as he dies, you kind of have to like implement this like right away. And the key is to like think like, oh, I really want to get this range creep. Because why I didn't say anything first and I was watching, because I was wondering if you were going to get this range creep. Because I was like watching, I was like, is he going to get this range creep? And like the Pudge is here, the other guy's not back yet. And I was like, maybe he's going to get it. And then all of a sudden Underlord comes and he Qs you, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to get it. You're not going to get that range creep. And you don't. He denies it. Granted, you do a bunch more damage to him, but like, sort of this scenario could have happened later after that whole wave had been dead, and it just would have happened in the next wave or something. So I just want to kind of put that like sort of technique on your radar.
Yeah. That's put.
Just give me the
No, I'm dead.
business.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I think buying boots here first would have been really good.
Yeah.
Instead of this extra damage. I think here, in this lane, you pretty much only die to, like, getting hooked. So, like, if you can either have move speed to dodge the hooks, or have move speed to, like, run away better after you get hooked, I think that's what keeps you alive here.
Right.
It's kind of hard, because you want damage so that you can CS better, but then you also want move speed so you don't die. I think boots would have been better, so I'll just say that.
Yeah, have that in mind.
A lot of people dying.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got boots queued up next.
Should I try last hitting with frost arrows?
I will use frost arrows to last hit when I play Drow. Like if I think I need to, right? Because it's a plus 10 bonus damage. So yeah, if I think I need to, I'll definitely use one. I try not to use it a lot, but just for like those last hits that you think are going to be close, it's totally worth it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're last hitting uncontested, hopefully you don't need to use it too much, but you can. Okay, you tried to defensive aggro there. That's what you should have done, and then didn't quite work out. But that's okay, you went for it. Yeah, this guy has a lot of mana for hooks somehow. He's been hooking non-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, I would have just defensive aggroed right away, right when these creeps meet. Because you just don't want this guy to even be a factor. You want to remove him from being a factor as often as possible. So like right here, just defensive aggro back, you know? Defensive aggro back. You can even do the same thing, even with him alive, you can do that same thing I talked about. You defensive aggro right
and
away,
go and just kill
and then
the...
just right-click the range creep down. And if you need to, you can even throw out an E if he's like close to... If he's like kind of in the area looking to deny, you like throw out an E to like get both. Get the last hit plus harass him. If you're in hard lanes, that sort of like technique to just secure yourself to CS, it'll work out a lot. And you'll like just get these CS that you otherwise wouldn't be getting.
Right.
Because it just prevents him from being able to like do what he's doing right now. Like if you're controlling the creep wave and doing that, like he doesn't have a good spot to like drop his Q. Like if you defensive aggro back and then you like kind of walk over to the side and you're like hitting this, like he can't Q the creeps and you. Versus if it's just laning kind of static and he drops it, you're like just kind of there because you're trying to get the last hits.
Right.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here. I feel like this rest of the laning
Yeah,
phase will be
it's
pretty similar until like other heroes start showing up, or you hit the point where you can start jungling, which I don't think you're quite there yet. So once we get there, we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, and I don't think I know where the point is with with Drow.
Yeah,
So
it's similar to what I was saying last game. It's like kind of like treads and like level like with range heroes, you can even do it a little bit earlier, like level 5. Like treads and like level 5 is kind of all you need. So you're still not quite there yet. You'd have treads if you were CSing better, but like we said, it's a hard lane, so I don't blame you too much.
Yeah, and that was like my my bad my bad laning stage. Usually it's something between PA and Drow. It's
sure. Okay, so we killed them and they killed our Rasta. So here, this is it. A lot of time, I'm not sure why this is, but to me, as soon as this happens, I want to kill these creeps as fast as possible. So what it is I want to kill these creeps as fast as possible before this other guy comes back. That's what I want. That's what I want you to do right now. And then
go small camp probably, right?
And then you're just gonna have time between doing that and finishing it, and then when the next wave comes, and what you do in that time is you can farm. And so like as the lane progresses on a lot of carries, like you become less and less interested in like laning more against the other guy, right? Usually they're getting like pretty strong and you're like, I kind of want to go jungle. You don't really want to fight them. And just the sooner you can start to do this, like, the better it will be for your, like, overall CS than later game impact. So, like, right here, this guy's dead for 13 seconds. This is completely free. So just kill it. Like, right? Just kill it. You've got... Your treads are going to be coming out soon. You don't have them yet, which isn't ideal. But, like, just kill this. He won't be able to stop you. You get free CS. And then just go hit a jungle camp in the meantime, you know? And, like, if you're really quick about this and you kill this super fast, you can even use an E. These creeps will walk under his tower and die before he gets back to lane. So it's like denying him a wave almost if you shove this in fast enough. I never thought about it that way. But, like, if you kill this fast enough and these creeps die under his tower before he respawns, you basically denied that whole wave from him.
Yeah, and they will meet again in the same place like this one.
Exactly. Oh, so, yeah, you're just missing these windows. So that, again, like, this game's like 7-ish minutes, just like last game.
Yeah, and I'm denying... Yeah, I'm denying instead of just pushing and... Yeah, I'm...
Yeah, you're denying, and it's gonna keep the lane here, but, like... You could have killed it fast and then farmed a small camp in the meantime and then come back, right? What I was gonna say, what's I gonna say? I don't remember. Okay, never mind. Oh, I was gonna say, even in this game where you're not doing really well compared to last game where you were doing really well, it's still around that, like, 7:30 mark where it's like, all right, like, now is the time to, like, not be interacting with these guys as much anymore. Oh, get hooked. Unfortunately. That went super well for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, now this guy's back. He's queuing you. Like, I haven't farmed any jungle camps in the meantime. So they pulled. Okay, so they got a pull off. That's kind of interesting. So here, small camp? No?
I don't know why. I want to block this camp for some reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be wanting to body block that camp, because, like, if you're doing this well and you shove this up, like, as Drow Ranger, you can farm this camp. I mean, you'd want to, like, stand here, right? And, like, farm it, like, over here, right? Like, you wouldn't want to, like, stand here and farm it. But, like, yeah, you can farm this camp, so I wouldn't want to body block it. And I would have wanted to, like, farm that small camp, right? So it's, like, we're seeing a pattern over 2 games, which isn't a lot of games, but, like, you should be starting to look sooner, to, like, go to the jungle sooner, and you will, like... get this you will, like, start getting these extra CS, and this is gonna, like, make your games easier.
Yeah.
So you die, unfortunately, and it's whatever. Could you have run a different way? I guess. I'm not too upset at this death. So you block this. Your Rasta dies to the Lina here. It's a surprise game. Yeah, I think here you would have needed to, like, just not run under your tower, but it's hard to, like, say you, like, think it's safe and then you don't even have a creep wave for whatever reason, so
yeah,
dive you. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
They're happy.
Let's see what happens when you do stuff. So you walk.
I use my TP because I.
Oh yeah, you didn't have a TP. If you had a TP, it would have been really good to still do what you just did and walk mid. I really like that you walked mid there. I feel like if you had a TP up, maybe you would have done that. But even if your TP had been ready, if you had walked mid, that would have been the correct play. Because then if you walk mid and you do what you just did, now you have options, right? Your TP's up. You could go bottom if you want, and then if they show up, you can, like, TP away or something. Or you can just, like, kind of farm this and then go to your triangle or something. So we'll see. You're going Yasha.
Yeah, that's something I'm not sure if I should go Dragon Lance or Yasha first, and why.
If you're gonna get both, I would get the Dragon Lance first. Well, yeah, it is kind of an advanced concept, but, like, the reason Dragon Lance is decent, like, the reason people buy Dragon Lance at all instead of just going Yasha is a little bit because of the attack range, but mostly because it gives you 12 strength, which is, like, 240 HP. It's a lot of HP. So, like, it's nice because if you get ganked or something, you're like less likely to die, and you can also
Okay.
farm a little bit safer. Versus Yasha's just straight efficiency. You're like thinking like I'm not gonna get ganked or something, or like I'm gonna be able to react to like them missing, and like I'm not gonna die to some gank is what going Yasha first really says. But I would tell somebody at your level, like if you're gonna get both, I would just get Dragonlance first,
Okay.
because the build-up's nice, and the attack range is gonna be beneficial to you. I would be looking to get Dragonlance anytime they have a hero who I'm gonna be wanting to like dump damage into from like my max attack range. So like kind of if they have like any sort of like frontline tanky hero that you're gonna want to be like dumping damage into. It's like Underlord, Bristle, or you know, sometimes some ranged matchups is important. Like if they have a Luna, like you want to be further away so that you can attack while she can attack you.
Yeah.
These are all good scenarios for like Dragonlance. Games where you don't need Dragonlance is like games where it's like they're gonna get on top of you like no matter what, and the Dragonlance is not gonna like save you.
Like
Or B,
PA
like-
or
B, they don't have any like strong frontliners, so like if you're hitting like ranged supports, like having the Dragonlance is like a little bit less important in that scenario. So
But later I should probably go for stuff like Hurricane Pike regardless, right? Because it's quite no.
you don't need Hurricane Pike every game on Drow. It's definitely good some games. Well, I say that, but I'm looking at this Dota 2 Pro Tracker, and I am seeing Hurricane Pike, Hurricane Pike, Hurricane Pike, Hurricane Pike, Hurricane Pike work again. This one doesn't. This one has it. This one has it. This one has it. Sometimes it's late. Sometimes it's after like Manta Lincolns, and they go back.
Oh,
But you
okay.
see, they're all building Dragonlance. It's like basically required on this hero.
Right. Like
Literally
first
everybody
item
has a Dragonlance. So
Mhm.
I guess just
Yeah.
always get the Dragonlance. Forget what I was saying earlier. Just always get the Dragonlance, and then yeah, eventually you'll want to upgrade into Pike.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just farming, cleaning up mid with some illusions. I really like that. A lot of times is what Drow's like jungle rotation looks like, is you kind of jungle around and then you like clean up mid. So I like what you're doing right here. This is like kind of how Drow wants to be playing, and the fact that you're cleaning up mid means no one on your team has to worry about it.
Mhm.
So hopefully you walk mid after this camp. Oh, you're finishing this. Okay, you're walking mid. The Lena showed mid and then didn't push it in, which is kind of weird. If she had pushed it in, you would have been late here. Because these
Yeah.
creeps would have already been under your tower, but for whatever reason she didn't. So I would have prioritized coming mid sooner, because against like a better player, you're going to have to.
Mhm.
Now you're hitting this tower for free while there's a bunch of heroes top. Nice, well played. It's very good. Okay, so this DD, you're going to go farm some Ancients. I like it. It's kind of hard to farm Ancients early on Drow, but with a DD, that makes it easier.
Mhm.
Okay, so you go Yasha, and then you're going back for the Dragonlance. I dig it. We're going to show up. Nice, nice. I like that you showed up to this. That's like kind of the engagements the Drow wants to show up to. Like, she doesn't hate fighting early, but like it's very specific types of situations where it's like good. And I think that was one of them. So I'm glad you like looked to show up to that.
Mhm.
Cleaning up mid, very nice. Looking to show up again. Not overcommitting, it's pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, so you're like, your laning could use a little work and you could be a little more efficient in terms of starting to jungle sooner. But you're like, this like kind of early mid-game phase, or like just immediately post laning from you looks really good. Like this looks way better than what I'm normally seeing in like this bracket.
Yeah, but I think my my laning stage is sometimes, if it's bad, I usually like have to catch up in early game or like mid game. But when I'm too far behind, it's very hard to win. So if I
Right.
had like a bit more farm laning stage, then I'd have like much more farm mid game, and it would be easier, because in hard games I feel like I'm constantly making up in the mid game for all I've
Right,
lost
being falling behind in the laning stage.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I don't like this TP because
it's far away. The wave, I can farm this wave anyway.
Yeah, I think
if I will.
you might miss like 1 or 2 creeps if you just run straight here, because they're going to kill this pretty fast. But
I maybe
think
needed
it's
to
worth
stop.
missing the creeps so that you still have your TP up. It's just so important to have your TP up. Actually, you would have missed them to this wave, not to them running into the tower or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. It's okay. So you pushed in mid, which is good. Go top again. You got your core staff. So you're just going first item Hurricane Pike after the Yasha. Interesting.
I should be going Manta, or
Manta's pretty good this game. I don't know. I don't hate it. If you felt like you needed to like have this Force Staff, I am honestly okay with that. I could see needing that. Manta is good. Like I would go one and then the other probably. Or like, I mean, I might even delay this Hurricane Pike, but if you felt like playing this game that you thought you needed it, I'm not going to tell you it's like just a straight up bad purchase, because it's like kind of seems nice.
Mm-hmm.
You are eventually going to want to probably a BKB as well. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Alright, showing up again. Very nice.
Tower is under attack.
This is a pretty good TP, I think. How long do you stay down here? Okay, so I don't think continuing to run down here is good. I think you're nuts for doing this.
Because Lina can TP, or
Yeah, I just haven't seen Lina in like 40 seconds. Like, I would be very scared right now. I just don't know where anybody on their team is. I'm just looking at the map. I'm like, oh, like when I see carries on the enemy team doing this, I'm like, go kill that guy. What is he doing? Like, that's what I like. I'll just watch from their perspective. When I see this, I'm like, guys, we need to go kill this Drow. Granted, these guys are playing terrible. They're playing 4 heroes top, which doesn't make any sense. But like, better players will punish you for this, is what I'm saying.
right. So the wave under the tower was good, but the next wave was very risky.
Well, and here's the thing. So when you make this TP, your priority has to be like when you make this TP, you have to think like, I'm TPing down here to relieve some pressure, get some farm, push this out a little bit, and then like GTFO back to the other side of the map. Like, you should not be thinking that you want to like stay down here that long. So killing this creep wave is really, and this is a little advanced, but it comes down to like understanding where the next creep waves are and a little bit the timer, right? So the jungle camps just spawned, so they'll be there for the next 60 seconds. So farming this jungle camp right now, I don't think is good. What I think you need to do is you need to farm this camp that's like right here. There's a wave that's like right here, because it's going to meet this wave. I don't know if you know this, but when they have waves pushing all the way in, it meets like right here, like right outside your top. It's the same top, right? Your wave will meet their wave here if you've like pushed it out all the way.
Right.
So there's a wave that's going to meet this wave right here in about 4 seconds, which means their wave's like right here. So you just walk up, blast that wave ASAP. So you've shown here, and it's just a timing thing, right? So we'll just look at the clock. So you TP here, and you show at 22 minutes exactly, close enough. And let's just say you went over here, and you killed this wave, and you're killing it, and it dies, and you leave. So that means you showed bottom for 13 seconds if you killed this wave already.
All right.
So that only gave them that would have only given them 13 seconds to react, and then once you've killed it, then you go do this, and then you go do this, and then you move back to the triangle, and their window to actually come punish you is extremely small. Like, they would have had to like, they just won't. Nobody will punish you for this TP. Even in Immortal, if you do it this efficiently, like what I'm talking about, You can't get punished unless they're already here. Like, they'd have to literally already all be in this area to punish this 13-second window that I'm talking about.
Right.
Versus the way you do it, they saw you down there, you farm this, and it was at 22, and then you show again at 22, 27 or whatever, and then
And
you
now
show again here. So you've now been showing bottom for 37 seconds. That is a big enough window for, like, Crusader, or, like, maybe not even Crusader, but, like if you're really trying to, like, gain MMR, like, legend players will, like, punish you for this 37 seconds down here. Guaranteed. Archon, sometimes they will. Guardian, they probably will not ever punish. They're probably punished as, like, 5% of the time. And only because they accidentally down here, not because they, like, coordinated it. I'm
right,
just telling
but
you this
I
will be
can't count
punished.
they're, like, not coordinated, because they will eventually.
Like, yes, you're getting away with this now, but it's only because they're bad. And so that would have been the difference, right? Kill one wave, kill the second wave, 13 seconds go by, and then you're, like, farming your way, like, out of here. And instead, you're still down here 40 seconds later, and it just sets you up to die. It really does. And you're not going to die. But this is, like, these are the mistakes that Guardian players make and that, like, don't get punished a lot. But then you're going to get to the next level, and you're going to do exactly this because it was working for you on Guardian. And then you're going to start dying. You're like, crap. But it's like you were doing this mistake the whole time. Now people are just punishing you for it. Yeah, you have your pike. Yeah, and the other thing is if you had, like, killed this at 22-13 and farmed your way back over here, like, maybe you are strong enough now to, like, group with your team and you guys can, like, pressure this as 5. And if they try and defend, you just kill them, right? You've got, like, your pike. You're kind of at a power spike and you kind of want to be looking to fight around your power spikes. Like, in these games that are, like, closer, you're behind. It's like, when do you fight them, right? Well, it's when you've completed a big item and when you've pushed out your lanes and the map looks good. So I'll just to harp on this a little more, we should probably cut it off soon.
Yeah, and we're...
So you make the TP. So, like, say you clean this up at 13, and then you slow it down so you can get a better sense of, like, accurate timeline. And then you, like, so you were farming this camp, and then say now you're farming this camp, and, like, say now you're running top, and, like, here you'd be, like, top, right? And you'd be like, your axe farm the triangle, whatever. But you could farm this camp, and you, like, have your pike, right? And your Necro's dead, but, like, maybe you, like, stop by mid and you E this wave or something, and then you, like, come top. Like, you could be in this area, your Necro would be respawning, and maybe you guys could, like, group and push off, like, this pike or whatever. Like, that could kind of be hypothetically what the map looks like, and that could set up to, like, take this objective, which is, like, right, order of objectives, like in a Dota game, says that this is the objective that you guys want to take as a team if you're going to progress the game in your favor. So that's kind of what you should be looking to do if you have opportunities. And, like, these power spikes of, like, hurricane pikes are kind of those opportunities.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's, like, definitely going to go well, but it's better than doing it when you're, like, 400 gold away from an item, right? It's like, okay, I have my item, so now I'm going to do it. And eventually, and you just do it slower, right? You did the bottom slower. You came through, you E'd the mid wave, which is funny because that's what I said you could maybe do, and then you walk over here, and at this point, like, your axe is, like, dying, because you're just not here. And you could have been there. You could have done very similar to what you did, just a little more efficiently, and you could have been here. And I know you know this. You were talking last game about, like,
yeah, but I'm late, so
matter, right? Exactly. And yeah, you guys end up fighting them anyways. Their Jug and Lena aren't here. They get a little kill. Now Jug and Lena are here. These guys are nuts. Just running into your triangle. Oh, it feels bad.
Oh,
you
he'll survive.
You could have forced staff forward there.
Yeah. I realized it, like, when he ran away. I was like, oh shit, I got first step.
Bad.
Yeah.
So here, with Jug being really low, I mean, maybe he has Healing Word, so maybe it's not good, but, like, as soon as you don't get this kill on him, I'd kind of be looking to, like, still play for top tower here. Like, if you guys are all alive, like, I don't mind that you're killing this camp because you're right next to it, but, like, I would be, like, kind of telling my team, I was like, okay, Pudge is dead, Jug's low, let's try and get this tower, guys. Like, you want to look to progress the game here, not just keep farming. Like, yes, you're behind, but like these are the opportunities while you have heroes dead where you need to like do something like that will impact the game in your favor positively.
Yeah,
Like,
and we're
yes,
losing
at low
focus.
levels you can wait for them to mess up and walk into your triangle, but like you can take a little more agency in your games too and like force your small advantages a little bit.
Hmm.
You're like dewarding, waiting around, farming some more. Selena shows top again.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, like I don't hate your farming rotation. It's just like you guys, like as a team, are not like grouping up to like take any objectives. Like you're just
Yeah.
waiting for them to like run at you. Like right, you got this Manta power spike. Like a lot of times these like core things happen around like certain items, right? It's like I've got my freaking Manta guys, like our Necro just finished his Sanjin Kai or whatever. Like let's go make a play, like smoke, or just run down top as 5. You know, go for a play. And if your team absolutely refuses, like that's life, right? But like you can call for these
Yeah, but
plays.
usually they're eager to like make plays
Yeah,
at least
people want to
on
do
my
stuff.
bracket.
And look at you walk top and it like works out. Great. All right, I think we should cut it there.
Yeah, it's plenty of information.
For sure, for sure. Do you have any other questions you wanted to ask?
No, I think that general like tips are. I need to practice it and like process everything.
Yeah.
So
You should take at least 30 to 40 games. Like, make sure you watch this back once and like really try and like implement some of these things. And if you can really start like implementing them soon, like what we've talked about, you will start to see your MMR like just skyrocket. Like your games will become so easy. You'll have more items. You'll be making plays in the right part of the map, and games will just feel easy. And I think you've got the potential. Like from what I've seen, I think you do.
thanks. Yeah, and from like I was playing recently when I decided to like look for coaching. I think I'm trying to play more conscious what I'm doing. So there are a lot of things that I know I'm not doing well, but I try to think about it. So yeah, I'm looking to like after our session process everything, play for like I don't know a week or two, and then schedule another one and see what I've progressed, what I've forgotten, what I'm doing wrong, and step by step towards immortal.
Yeah,
7K maybe
that's
one
right,
day.
man. That's right. Dream big.
Yeah.
I would say at least, I don't know how many games you play like a week, but I would say like at least 30 to 40 games played before you set something else up. So if you play that many games in like 2 weeks, awesome. Like you'll probably have made a bunch of progress. If you only play like a couple of games a day and it takes you like a month or something, I would just take that time. Make sure you've like played it out, played the game.
Yeah. I think it's about two and a half or 3 weeks maximum. It depends on my work and
Sure.
and so on. But I think 2 weeks. So yeah, I thank you for the coaching. I think I will play some games now and process everything. And when I feel like comfortable with everything, I will message you again. And please keep up the good content on YouTube.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's Dota needs like high quality content. I think that like BSJ was great a few years back, but now he sometimes is great, but sometimes it's just he needs content and video count and so on. So yeah,
Sure,
Dota
yeah.
needs good quality content. Yeah. So
Well,
thank you very much, and we'll be in touch.
all right, sounds good, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.